Welcome to Girls Run These Worlds in this Misspent Youth series Y2K Used to Control. I'm Abby, my pronouns are she, her, and tonight we'll be playing Misspent Youth, originally by Robert Bull, and using the Fall in Love Not in Line edition by Frag and Unicorn Games. Misspent Youth is a very open system with two simple requirements: an oppressive authority and teenage YOs, or youthful offenders, ready to fight back against the tyranny of a world gone wrong. Because of the nature of this is a story about rebellion, please be advised that our game tonight will contain possible content warnings for death, loss, grief, suppression of truth, social control, chronic disease, loss of identity, small town culture, and history erasure. If that means you can't join us for our adventure tonight, please take care of yourself, and we'll see you with our future game offerings. We have some story to catch up on, but before we do, I'll have our players go ahead with introductions. So if you'll please give your name and pronouns, as well as a little bit about your youthful offender. And because I love going alphabetically, Art.
It's what I get for choosing Arc. I'm Arc, Arcanian Ending, everywhere. I am playing Lux, our resident Nepo baby, who has the power of money and sass, and now wrath, I guess, also. And I'm so excited to jump back in. We left off on quite the cliffhanger last time.
Yeah, all right. And Jilly.
Hi, that's me. My name begins with a G. Hello. My name is Jilly. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Alice, whose pronouns are she, they. You can find me in most places on the internet at Oh Look It's Jilly. Jilly is spelled with a G. And I am really excited to be back playing Alice, who has an affinity with tech. The archetype, I believe, is engineer officially. But Alice last week found out some very startling information about their family, and is maybe not handling it the best because of reasons. So we'll see how that goes. Woo!
Woo, indeed. Natalie.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me most places with Ghost Candle, Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. I play Casey. They, them, our little scavenger scrappy boy. They use they, them. And yeah, they got to walk into what the rest of everyone else was doing last time. So that was fun figuring that out for Casey. And then, yeah, getting a little rough and tumble. So let's go.
Just remember, they asked for it. Sophia.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, also known as Nerdy Titty on Twitter and most all other places. And I will be playing Quinn tonight, and we're both she, her. Quinn is our wilderness scout.
Okay. Well, as for setting, if you want the full story, please check up on our previous episodes. It's a very dirty tale and a very interesting one at this point. Suffice to say that the Reclaimers are the descendants of members of the Reclamation Operations Workforce, a pre-end international agency tasked with securing advanced technology against the oncoming fall of civilization. But when the end finally came, they instead kept the technology for themselves, and the Reclaimers have spent the last 300 years building themselves up as an order of quasi-mystic technicians that can still access what advanced cybernetics and data systems still remain functional out here. They're the protectors of the city, so named because its citizens are the only humans left post-apocalypse. I've got so much air quotes because they're liars. The Reclaimers are a story about heroes that saved humanity when instead they made an elite kingdom for themselves out of the survivors. Now, our group, fighting a damaged AI, Brenna, built of the journals, field notes, and last thoughts of a murdered pre-end researcher. Our youthful offenders took the name Y2K from Brenna's disjointed recollections of a time in history when people feared the loss of their technology. 2 months ago, Y2K fled their expedition camp with a stolen AI, a wounded friend, and the wreckage of their lives behind them. They had one clue, a signal that Brenna showed them that she'd found on a network before she disrupted it. And that was that across the mountains there was life. They found the signal strangely emanating from a village that's clearly antiquated in the eyes of these citizens of the city, with little or no signs of high technology visible. They met the citizens of Haven's Reach, farmers, crafters, and townspeople who went about their lives in simple faith that the Reclaimers were out there and rescued them, with only a few authority figures aware of the existence of the city at all, and even fewer of those aware of what was below. Having met local teenagers Eli and Max and sheltered by Eli's mother Maura, Y2K has found a place to plant the seeds of their rebellion, driving doubt into some of the Reclaimers' forces with their words of truth, outrage, and change, and outwitting others by turning their own tech against them. Last episode, the team explored the labyrinthine tunnels under Haven's Reach and discovered Base 127, a pre-end military compound that the Reclaimers have been looting for decades to arm themselves with high-energy firearms and, with the help of the base's control AI, Avis, targeting missiles and laser grid systems across hundreds, maybe thousands of miles. After disabling the researchers in the base and avoiding the security of the couriers, Y2K reminded Avis that he was once a man, Joshua Sentry, who merged with the computer to try and protect the world from the coming wars. It shared a moment of understanding and loss with Brenna before creating a false evacuation alert to clear the base of Reclaimer forces, including Alice's father. A reminder to my players and audience, in Misspent Youth, each authority has systems of control that must be defeated and exploits that the YOs can use against them. They have authority figures who represent the authority and struggles with our characters. As of today, Y2K has taken out the systems of control of their listening, where else will you go, and they have the weapons. The Reclaimers are now on the ropes, but they still have remaining systems of control, which is using tech untrained as a social taboo and temptation to join. The teens have built up their own exploits with Reclaimers' technology is old and unreliable. Brenna has access to databases the Reclaimers do not. The Resistance has allies in Haven's Reach, and now Avis allows them access to Base 127. All right. That is our overview. Now, we do try to open scenes with friendship questions, but it's been a hard struggle. Your beliefs have been broken and rebuilt. You fled the people you used to trust, and you're learning slowly what it takes to give up pieces of yourself for your goals. Lux, your outrage has turned to wrath. Alice, your pride has turned to arrogance. And Quinn, your thrill-seeking is now nihilistic. In this rebellion, you know you have each other. Our players have elected that the friendship question that will repair a sold-out quality will go to Quinn. So who will ask the friendship question to heal her nihilism?
I think we elected me. So Casey's going to ask, what was something that I made you worry about? That's something I did that made you worry about my safety.
As we were traveling across the forest, sometimes often unknown, it was the wandering off in search of scrap and treasures that constantly made Quinn worry.
Okay. And so thinking about that, thinking about the times that Casey ran off, like what does Quinn feel that helps understand the joy of exploration and thrills again instead of just that the world's going to keep coming at her?
It's the, I think for Quinn, it's sort of this idea of like, there's a certain amount of thrill in knowing what you're doing and knowing that, like, yeah, I'm not going to get hurt swimming across this river because I know what I'm doing. I've trained to do this. And there's a certain idea to there's a certain amount of fun to being able to do these things that she's worked hard to achieve.
Okay. Well, certainly there's been some time to try and rest. You know, you all haven't had as much time with that. You've either been traveling and keeping an eye out through the wilderness and the strange noises and dangers there, or you've been dealing with the authority figures here in Haven's Reach, above and below. But now's your chance. With the evacuation notice in place, you actually haven't seen much activity since then. It's been 2 weeks, and I guess my question would be, are you electing to keep a low profile, or are you just strolling around town?
I think Alice has been not like keeping a low profile necessarily, but by nature of what they do, has kind of not been all that much out in public. Um, they've been sort of busy trying to understand the complexity of the systems they now have access to. Um, and so they've been hanging out, I think, at Mora's house, but have also been like going down to the base a fair amount to kind of snoop around in the systems as much as possible.
Yes, absolutely. You are more than welcome in the base. While there's still kind of a distance to Avis, and it, as much as it acknowledges the information and the recognition of its past life that you've brought to it, it's still struggling a bit with that as a sense of identity and wishes to remain being called Avis. But yes, Avis has welcomed all of you to the base. And while, you know, there's an eerie quality to the basically the remains of a military complex that's abandoned over time and kind of stripped like an old carcass. There's still odds and ends, signs of life, and plenty of database information about the world before. And interestingly, some things about the world now on a larger scope in research and information that goes farther than anything you've seen so far. And the whole time that you're working with these databases, there's a sense of deeper connection. Something about that way that Avis and Brenna interacted when they touched connected you to the larger system as well. There's just information at your disposal. There's things that respond to you that you'll walk into a room and the lights will come on. And it's as if you are a part of them as well. You are being recognized as a third machine entity. And welcomed.
I think Alice thinks that's the coolest thing that's ever happened.
Excellent.
I am robot now.
Sure. All right. So Alice is spending time down in the base. All right. Well, then I will go one by one. In fact, Casey, what are you doing for 2 weeks?
Yeah, Casey, I feel that they would be, as the most recent one to come into the town, they're still a little anxious about, I don't know this place, so I need to explore, I need to discover, find the hideaways, find any escape routes, all the stuff. So I'd probably be making friends with Max. I feel we hit it off great. So making friends, trying to, in a way, almost I'll distract myself with that sort of work, because having recently ran into Vance gave Casey a bit of a seed of something. So they're just like, no, let's do these tasks and go. Make sure we can, if anything happens, I want to make sure my friends can get out.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Max is 1,000,000,000% here for, just I'm going to show you some weird places around town. Actually, Max knows some of the further area out, and like travels out as far as they risk, but a lot of it seems to be based around the local infrastructure. Having worked for Engineer Lawson for so long, they are aware of like just odd tunnels or systems where you recognize after a while that they have kind of been low-grade razzing town for a while. Like there's points where a certain knob has been adjusted to make one light in Marshall Thompson's office just flicker that amount that'll give you a headache. Like it is obvious that Max has taken the power of taking care of this town and just completely decided to reign as a petty tyrant against like people's bullshit.
Vibes.
Though they do offer to introduce you to other kids around the town if you are so socially inclined, and that goes for all of you. All right, Quinn.
I think Quinn is taking the time. Quinn likes to know her surroundings and would be, I think, like taking the time to work with Eli to like draw a map of the town and like the surrounding woods, and like making sure like Quinn knows where they can like run to hide if they have to get out of town quick.
Absolutely. And as Quinn and Eli are exploring out and like mapping, there's a point where you reach a level and Eli will kind of pause and just stare at it. There's signage that's faded and yellow, like biohazard yellow. And then there's carvings in the trees. They're old. Like the tree, clearly there was something embedded in there that's rusted and fallen out, but the tree sort of grew out around the shape. And it's a series of interlocking circles that are just an old symbol, like a pre-end symbol of hazard or warning. And he just, stares at it and is like, Max told me about this. He says that, they said that things start kind of dying off if we go out too much further. But I don't know. Like, that could be a lie too.
Good to know. Good to know. Quinn definitely wants to go past that at some point.
Yep. 100%. And yeah, like there's definitely the question mark. Like, you can see that Eli's also very curious, but also like this is the farthest he's ever been out. Like, he's interested. It's a lot. In fact, the last 2 weeks has been really rough on Eli. He discovered that there's like incredibly destructive things underneath his town, and that it kind of exists just to cover up that ugly truth. And so yeah, he's kind of been growing a little bitter over the whole situation of just, what is the point of us being here? What is the point of, the what is the point of this farm? This farm is, it's growing food, and it's but what about the town? There's no reason. Like, they could just pack up and go somewhere else. And it's an interesting thing watching that kind of idea spread in the ways that are good and bad, where people are, the truth is either deeply believed and very upsetting, or it is kind of dismissed, sometimes out of malice, but mostly because it's very hard for people to look at their lives and decide that it doesn't mean anything. There's like a sunk cost fallacy in everything they've built. And yeah, the message is getting out, but it's a struggle. It's hard. Do you all practice with the weapons you got?
Yeah, I think Quinn definitely would.
Okay. All right. Lux, 2 weeks in agrarian land. How you doing?
So great. Love it here. It's definitely my style. Yeah, if you guys have not told me to lay low, there's no way that I'm laying low. I'm finally with people again. And Lux for sure. Like, the thing about Lux is that she's authentic, you know what I mean? And like, she'll just keep showing up and making you hang out with her, and it kind of like grows on you, even if at first you're kind of like, oh, why would anyone be friends with her? So she's like hanging out with people, getting to know who the cool teens are, doing an influencing thing. Just, I don't know. She wouldn't use weapons unless you guys encouraged her to. She'd be like, "Oh, that's what you're for," you know? Like, that's not my thing. I wouldn't do that.
Got it.
Just
Okay. So
partying.
yeah, Lux is hitting the town. Lux is like, I picture like walking into other people's workshops and like, what do you do here? Like, let me see. And yeah, you become this sort of figure of intense interest, because you're doing something that, while other people are exploring or are communing with the old systems and mechanisms, you're telling stories about the city and life there. And that's, I mean, even if the stories are, hey, why am I not there right now? It's still something that is utterly unknown to most of them. The fact that there's other people out there, and the descriptions of like life and the higher technology systems, the magnetized transport systems, it's a fairy tale to these people. And yeah, you are definitely a tiny local celebrity pretty quick, with just people who are, whether they believe you or not, like, again, it's that question of struggle. But as much as the anger and the outrage is spreading a truth. The hope of something kind of fantastical and interesting is doing the same. Like, you are giving them a fairy tale that this, in the same way that people who leave to go to a better place have that sort of hope. So that is the sort of impact that you're seeing in the town around you. You, in particular, end up running across from after telling like your stories for a couple days. You run across a mural painted across one of the walls of the old ruins that are pretty much have been rebuilt for the mayor's office, which you all know now secretly leads to the base. And you see what is kind of an artist's imagining of the city, and you know it's not, exactly, because again, you can only describe so much, but so there's this kind of like almost castle in the clouds variation to it. And yeah, you see one of the local kids working on that. And so yeah, that's an imprint that you've had.
Yeah, as long as I'm in it, right? Like, this feels like a little pink-haired me.
You go over and like poke her on the shoulder and be like, I live there.
Yeah, put me in that high rise. Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, like she'll go ahead and do like the hair and the bright pink poof, and will introduce herself as Harper.
Oh, Harper, like, I heard about you through Eli. That's right, you're an artist. I remember.
You've heard of me. That's great. Wow. I was honestly the way that, you've been kind of, it's hard to picture you noticing some of us. Like, we've got to be just boring as hell.
I mean, you're not the woods, so you got that going for you.
I mean, you have a point. Whew. But yeah, do you draw? Do you?
No, I don't use my hands for anything except like shopping, I guess. But your friends
You
are
wanna try?
cool. They totally helped us like break into this top secret facility, and we stole a bunch of stuff, and that was actually pretty cool.
Nice. And like while she's working, like she'll basically pass a piece of like dark blue chalk over to you and just be like, just outline that, and like just start involving you in the picture.
Yeah, Lux will definitely draw Az with just like the biggest muscles that you've ever seen. Like, not realistic at all. Stick figure with biceps.
Wonderful. So yes, absolutely. Whatever series of adventures or friends Lux adds to the art, Harper does not change anything. Awesome. Well, throughout all of this, you've had some ability to rest, recuperate, and you're starting to see it's not all just the engagement of the parts with you. Marshall Thompson has been suspiciously absent. You're not quite sure like who's kind of running things right now in regards to maintaining order in the town. You're sure the mayor has someone, but it's not the marshal, not anything you've seen. Honestly, it's probably certain amounts the overseer, but Overseer Ramirez has also been oddly quiet. Not so much absent. You'll see him walking through town occasionally, but you're well aware of the fact that the jig is up when it comes to the fact that you are good little minions. You're past that point. So he has remained in his compound, except the times that he travels to Engineer Lawson's compound. So that is very much a back and forth from one side of the town to the other. And that's it. You do not see Engineer Lawson leaving, though. The mayor has...
They're too
One is...
greasy to be in
do you
public.
tell the mayor about the elevator? I have that question. This is very important.
I would.
No.
I mean, probably, right? Like, I don't see a reason why we wouldn't, right? Maybe not how to access it because Avis won't let anybody in, and just anybody in anyway, right? We would probably have a conversation about this, to be fair.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I don't see compelling reason not to mention that there is an access point nearby.
Yeah, because I think the people we wouldn't want to know were the ones that were already aware of it before we were. Yeah, probably maybe not disclosing exactly where it is if the mayor never knew about it.
I just hate the mayor, so I wouldn't tell them anything.
All right.
If you guys do, that's fine.
The mayor, I mean, I have no problem. Alice has no problem with the mayor, but also no particular inclination that the mayor will do anything about any of this. So the mayor's attitude was pretty much like, yeah, if you could solve it, great, bye. So.
Okay, so that is a no. Okay. So no worries. Again, all of the teens never saw a thing. Nothing. And Mayor Davis has mainly just been trying to, well, keep control of the town. It's been those that are interested in leaving, the trying to reassure them that, that town is safe. Which is kind of a question mark, because if what you all are saying is true, then the reclaimers will be coming to this place. And that, yeah, the mayor is definitely dealing with the civil unrest of people who are rightfully becoming aware of the precarious position that they're in. But again, she heard you. That's the part that Lux's wrath, for the points where it feels like she's going to hammer down that this is the way things are. Lux's wrath of, you owe these people more than this, does stay. And so Mayor Davis is working to, one, defend her town, but also, if people want to leave, let them do so safely. It's kind of a struggle. All right. So yeah, you all are out about, you've been hanging out together, but also separate at times, it sounds like.
Yeah.
There is a point where an older gentleman comes and knocks at the farm, and Maura goes away with him, and Eli doesn't seem that concerned. It's a situation where, his mother's not been feeling well lately, but, Dr. Bishop can do something about it, and that's Dr. Bishop's assistant that came, so Eli's like, it'll be fine. And then Maura doesn't come home for supper. Eli looks over and is like, I'm gonna go check on my mom. Quinn, you want to come?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay.
I think Alice was about to volunteer, and then Eli asked Quinn, and Alice shuts her mouth real quick.
Got it. Yeah. So pretty much you all have been kind of given the run of the farm and trusted to be, I was going to say adults, but that's not accurate at all. So trusted to be responsible and not damage the farm. So yeah, Eli starts heading into town and walking along, and it's been, I can't believe it's only been a couple weeks. Like, everything's different. How did you do months of this?
I Honestly, I feel like I don't know. We've just kind of been moving since, like, we learned everything, and it just kind of haven't really stopped. I think that's, like, we've obviously had our time to absorb some of it and think it through, but, like, yeah, it just feels like, at least for me, like, we haven't stopped for a while now.
I mean, you all can stay here. I know it's not anything like your home, as we've been reminded, but I mean, it's here. You're all welcome here. You know that.
Well, thank you.
Yep. I don't think my mom's I don't think she's really interested in trying to cross the mountains. Some people are, but I mean, she loves the farm. She loves the flowers. I might go one day. I worry about her though.
Is there reason to worry? Like, should we be worried, like, right now, or?
Um, I mean, she's sick. I mean, not anything like big. She we got to watch what she eats because, you know, sometimes her blood sugar gets real bad, but you know, the doctor has stuff for that. So, honestly, I thought she was just going to go like pick up her medicine and come back. I don't know what this is about. And this is about the time that you all have entered town, and Eli immediately goes towards Dr. Bishop's. Like has a building that's about the size of a house. They have she has rooms in the back that she uses for basically putting together stitching people up when they have farm accidents and treating illnesses and so forth. But it's kind of her house at this point. And Eli comes up and knocks on the door. A older woman, hair in a bun, salt and pepper, opens the door. Oh, sorry, I meant to send James down to the farm. Eli, Quinn, is it?
Yeah.
Come on in. And you all head into her house, and it's quiet. And Eli just looks around and is like, so my mom came by, and she puts a hand on Eli's shoulder and is like, your mom is upstairs resting. And you see the alert come up of so why? What's going on? It's like, when I did her tests, she's not doing very well. Her blood sugar is very high. And I do not have the supplies to help with that right now. So I am making her comfortable, and I am trying to see what other options we have. And she gestures to some books and, like, interestingly, little higher tech equipment again. That's kind of like the pads and data pads that Alice has been thoughtfully stealing from other authority figures around town. So I've been looking for what we can do, and I'm so glad you brought your friend, as I think that she may be able to help us.
Help? How exactly?
Well, and she'll basically pick up a book and start flipping through. And I normally get my equipment and medication from the courier system, but apparently the couriers left in a hurry and did not leave us any of our normal supplies. So, we're going to go ahead and do what we can. It's important. I need you both, and looks between you. I need you to understand how dangerous this is. It's not anything that we've had to deal with in a very long time in this regard. So we're going to have to go back to herbal medicine. From what I'm seeing here, there's herbs, oregano, sage, that have a immediate effect on blood pressure and diabetes treatment. It's something that was planted just in people's gardens hundreds of years ago. It's not something that dies off easily. In fact, apparently, oregano creeps along and just grows into everything. So I'm pretty positive that we can find a good patch of it, probably about a day's out. I can't spare anyone, and apparently, you're very good with trails. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, then I'm asking you to fix what you broke, young lady.
um, that it's a little quick to blame, but I'm willing to help.
I think it is within my rights, with the ability to, with my needs to take care of this place, and the fact that I have people who are seriously ill under my care that do not have the care they need due to the actions of your friends and you. I think it's well within my rights. But this is neither here nor there. Yes, please. If you are able to recover a significant quantity of this, I'd say probably a bushel's worth, we can go ahead and at least create a tea or treatment until another courier arrives, or until we're able to create a new, I suppose, agreement with the reclaimers in general, or find another system of medication. All right. And looks at the pad. Like I said, at least when it comes to old settlements and locations where herbs were likely found, you're looking at west, probably about a day. I can make it worth your while, honestly. If you are able to do this, then I can give you, and gestures at several of her other pieces of equipment, I can give you information regarding the plants and animals that you'll find out there still, as well as information regarding any maps that I still have in my possession. That way you can figure out what you want to do next.
Okay, I would like to stand up.
Okay. All right. What is your hope for this encounter?
My hope for this encounter is that Quinn already knows where these herbs and stuff, and maybe even the couriers left behind supplies or something, already is from scouting the town.
Okay. So Quinn wants to know where medication and supplies are. Okay. All right. The authorities' objective with Dr. Bishop is to sow doubt in Quinn that maybe they shouldn't be here. Okay, we are at first struggle, so authority's going to mark the number 2.
All right. I rolled a 7.
Okay, nice. And what conviction is Quinn using?
Let's go with Wilderness Scout.
Okay, got it. The authority will now automatically mark 12. And Eli, please roll for Eli, will you?
That is 8.
Okay. Eli's conviction is that Eli believes in Quinn.
That's so cute. Stop.
I feel like we are all the grandmother from Mulan right now, who's just like, "Do you want to stay forever?"
All right, let's see what the authority does. That is a 4. So Dr. Bishop will basically start, describing that, this is really become a situation that, we don't have a lot of time and you all should get this handled and then, possibly, leave town because honestly, it's going to, if this sort of blockade continues, the Maura's case is going to be just the first of many.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled the 5.
Okay, the 5 is unoccupied. What are you putting in?
Smart this time. I
Okay.
know herbs and plants and
Got it. All right. She turns to Eli at this point and starts directly talking to Eli. And rolls a 3. Oh, we are filling this board.
no.
Okay. And does that thing of like just holding onto the arm and talking directly to Eli as if you weren't there at all, Quinn.
Ooh.
It's like I know she's all you have right now. I know what happened. So help me take care of her and help me take care of everyone else.
Quinn is going to like start talking to Eli and be like, I got this. You don't need her for this. I can do this. I've been trained for this. This is my thing. And I rolled a 2.
You rolled a what?
2.
Okay. Got it. So at that point, either the authorities' objective for sowing doubt in Quinn activates, or you can sell out to win.
I think I'm gonna sell out. I'm gonna sell out pretty.
Okay. So
This
Quinn
is why
going
we
to
gave you the question.
Huh?
I love that sellout option.
Yep.
Like I just
Yep.
wasn't cute enough.
Quinn is about to show Quinn's ugly side. So show me what that is, please.
I like it's I think Quinn is like trying to convince Eli like that she can do this. And I think like as she gets a little more frustrated with it, it becomes this thing of like, don't you believe in me? Don't you want to like keep spending time with me and stuff? She starts to get a little like if you don't believe in me, why are we going out into the woods with me and stuff? If you don't.
So Quinn starts playing the it's me or them.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Well, so yes, you are able to like stare down Dr. Bishop and Eli in a little bit and say, I've got this. I think I saw where they went. I think I saw, I think if we follow them, they couldn't have carried all that stuff back themselves, not if they were in a hurry. We can fix this. And you blow off Dr. Bishop. Do you take Eli with you, or do you just go off yourself?
I think as she leaves, she's like stops in the door and looks back at Eli and is like, "Are you coming with me?" Or
you see him glance up the stairs, and there's the pause, is that he's worried about his mom, and also that was a lot to watch, and it is a long 3 to 5 second pause, and he's like, yeah, I'm coming. Okay. So you all head out, and it's going to take a while. So you leave your friends behind in town for a bit, but it's important. You're going to be able to help Maura. Okay. Quinn has not come back with Eli, and the next day dawns.
Is that unusual? I feel like
Um,
we would just be like, ooh, they're not back.
Yeah.
There we go.
They're
can you
off
all
in
drop the
woods.
gossip here?
Things must have gone so well. I feel like Alice is because Alice likes Mara a lot, and so is gonna try and do some of the stuff that Mara would usually do for us, like make breakfast, but is not gonna do it very well. I don't think Alice is incompetent in the kitchen, but also not a chef. So it's like, look at these. This is toast. It's slightly burnt, but you'll eat it. That is the vibe. But Alice is trying to be helpful.
Excellent. Okay. So you all have a Alice's breakfast, and yeah, you all go about the rest of your day. Okay.
Yeah, for one day.
Yeah, I think towards as the day starts to end, that's when Casey starts to get really worried. It's like, oh wait, paranoia uptick. What's actually going on? Did something happen?
Well, for the moment, you're still on the everything's probably okay point. I mean, you've had some time to chill, so immediate paranoia is not there. But yeah, Alice, do you go down to the base, or are you above board today?
I guess I'll go down to the bay. I think Alice will feed everyone, and then feeling that she has fulfilled her duty to Mara, keeping everyone alive, will go down to the base to commune with the technology.
Excellent. I assume that you, in fact, do use the elevator and not the 4-hour walk through the ventilation system.
No, yeah, the woods are not my vibe. If I could at all avoid it.
Of course. So yeah, you head through town, and you end up, as you are headed towards there, you see leaving that area Overseer Ramirez, and he stops right outside the again the old buildings complex. Just looks and gives a nod. Good morning.
Good morning.
Was I ever actually in danger?
You haven't exploded yet. I'm really impressed.
And you see he's like stare you down, like trying to decide if you are lying to him. But that doubt is still solidly there, especially since you know their tech is old. So,
It's a
interestingly
serious
enough, though,
business.
what you hear is a monitoring system in his um in his system. Like he wears a headset that generally looks like some sort of jewelry as plays to his pseudo religious themes, and you can hear something you've never heard before, which is the faint, pings and system checks of his tech.
Oh, I'm gonna steal that at some point.
And he catches you looking. He's like, "What are you staring at?"
I just like your, uh, you know me, taste for jewelry. Alice is not wearing any jewelry.
Huh. You know what? I heard something about. Never mind. Have a great day.
You heard something?
And mhm,
Was it like ticking? Because that could be bad.
you know, no, you know what? I am going to do this. So, as much as you've told me about the problems with my implants,
Yeah.
I know that yours are in trouble. So,
I don't think I'm gonna explode,
couldn't happen to a
but
nicer person.
sure would be convenient for you if it did, though.
There is a brief hand gesture that is absolutely, involving multiple middle fingers.
You're
And
my boss. That's so rude. I'm calling HR.
and he storms off back towards his complex. All right, you head down into the base.
My boss loves me.
Yeah, absolutely. Best team building.
Besties. All right. Let's go to the technology.
Okay. Yep. As expected, when you arrive down after the whoosh of magnetic and high energy systems, the doors open and the base lights begin to light up. There is a song that you particularly like on Brenna's systems that kicks on, and yeah, you have at your disposal a lot of stuff in this base. What does Alice get up to?
Um, so I think Alice is trying to identify like the base codes to see if there's like base codes that are recognizable that can be applied to other reclaimer technology, right? Because my understanding of technology is very limited, but I presume that there are, in a similar way to language, building blocks that are in common with different systems, right? Like there is a language to programming or multiple languages to programming. Let me tell you about technology, I say with no authority whatsoever. Come to my TED Talk. But I think that Alice wants to use this to not only know codes, but like this is a base. This is old reclaimer technology, right? It was made a long time. It's pre-reclaimer, right? It's
Correct.
pre everything. It's what most of the technology was built from that we have. And so I think Alice's logic is if I understand this, it will be easier to understand everything that came after it, right? Like it's history of technology 101 and 102 through 10 whatever.
So you're doing actually kind of the exact same thing the reclaimers did of trying to use reverse engineering to build something or to understand all of the pieces that are left and what you have to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's sort of what you gain and have been gaining all the time that you've been down here, is the understanding that there was this larger like electric systems and almost in the same way that we have communication over miles, they had accomplished vast communication over thousands of miles, and that systems were interconnected on a vast scope. However, around the period that society began to collapse, and you noticed that actually you're starting to understand more of it, that it was a loss of either through climate change, pollution. You're seeing where there was a loss of crops, and that starvation caused civil unrest, and society basically had an uptick in war and collapse. So these systems were all in place and all got cut off or isolated, and that's what happened with Jeshri, was the understanding that these systems could be used by desperate people, and the computer systems were not actually as advanced as they are. They were not capable of making the types of decisions that he felt would protect people. And so Jeshri ended up bonding to the computer system to give it a conscience that sort of eroded over time. But while you dig through databases and old notes, while you ping networks to see what responds, and you're noticing it goes quite a distance, you feel, and it is kind of like a hum, like somebody's having a conversation right behind you, but quietly. You hear Avis and Brenna like talking, and it's a high range. It's like listening to, you're listening to code, but you understand it. And every once in a while, it pings in and interrupts your thoughts, but it's not like a slap. It's, you feel your thoughts go around them, and you feel your thoughts go around them, and they shift around, and it's sort of causing almost a network where you're all thinking at the same time.
Mm-hmm. We're so cool. I'm in your network, reading your files.
Now, I do have a question. Do you do anything with Alice's dad's stuff? Do you go looking for any information on Padram?
I think that Alice spends like a good portion of her, like, whatever the first few times that she's been in this space were, like, it was very conscious that she did not go there. She would also not go there if there was anyone else who was using the base, because she's very much like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even want to know. But obviously she wants to know. So I think that at some point when she's alone there, she will like try and go look at the stuff. Just to like be like, oh look, I accidentally ended up in this room and now I'm looking through all these things.
Okay. Yeah, you find, again, in the barracks that a few of the researchers were living in. You realize there were probably about 4 or 5 people at any time that were working in this base. And it's the same way that you would have like any amount of academics or engineers, that each of their personal spaces and their rooms, because it's a vast base, they all have their own rooms, is equal parts comfortable and cluttered as all get out, with various projects and notes and etc. You have to sort through what is very clearly his work, which seemed to be based around communicating with Avis. Specifically, he seemed to be the one in charge of monitoring Avis's systems and trying to do what you're doing, of actually communing in a way that would be helpful instead of Avis just answering like a computer.
Sucks to suck, Dad. I'm better at it than you.
There are personal notes, though. There are communications to the city, and it seems as though he is communicating with your mom, and he is asking her to please come back, that you, and specifically mentions you, that, you know, you are better off not being, you know, brought into all of this, and that she needs to, you know, stop doing that. That she, whatever her plan is to, you know, basically involve you in her work, needs to stop, because, and you notice that they are referencing someone who was named Trula. That because Trula should have taught them better than to involve, you know, that yes, saving your life was important with the technology, but Trula showed them that they were wrong to try this step, and that you would get hurt.
I don't recognize the name Trula, right?
You do
It's never come up. It's not an acronym that I'm aware of.
Nope. The way that he talks about it sounds like there is a pronoun of she, and Trula is referenced as a person with intense regret attached.
Is that so? Are those messages old? Like, can I see the like when they were sent? Were they sent recently or forever ago or when I
They
was a
have been
kid?
sent on and off over the last probably like 2 or 3 years.
So my mom isn't here.
Correct. She appears she was here about, looks like they've been here like the last 5 years. She was here and then she left, and there is a suggestion that she has gotten some sort of promotion, but
Okay.
it is not referenced a lot. In fact, it looks like he was particularly bitter about it, and when it is mentioned, it is sarcastically.
Sure.
He does
Well,
mention, though, that he is does a lot of talking to Lawson, because honestly, it's somebody on the outside who's interested in talking to him, and that's
well,
somebody he's
quite
talked to a
frankly,
lot.
I think when Alice gets into the marital issues, I think she's just like, yeah, they suck. I was right. And then puts the notes away. I think does not want to get involved. And doesn't really look any further because like I think what her arrogance is doing here as well as her smarts is like noting that she has surpassed them and they didn't care enough to come back to her. So let's be better. I'm going to be the best engineer. So there.
Okay. But yes, that brings us back to today and this nice day, and you're jamming out and you're vibing like literally with Avis and Brenna, and then there is a ping alert of a message going off. And you stop and you think about it and focus on it in your head, and you get
Yeah.
Engineer Lawson, incoming message.
Is this like do I have read receipts on? If I read it, will Engineer Lawson know that I read it?
While you are unsure about like your connection to the communication systems now, as it is complicated, in fact, hashtag it's complicated,
Mhm.
you are fairly positive that since this is a reclaimer, they can actually see if they've reached you at all.
Sure. You know what? Alice is arrogant now. She's gonna read the message.
Absolutely. Of you know, you see the message, and it's a person, like it's not text. They've sent an actual like video or holographic communication.
Oh, Lawson is Marco Poloing me.
So I don't know what you're all doing down there. I can see the activity in the systems, and I am monitoring some very interesting results here. Well, since I can see that you're catching this, I'm just going to let you know that your internal code systems appear to be what's the best way to say this? Damaged. You have a port open. Yeah. No, this is I've never seen anything like it. I'm not gonna lie. However, I don't like the look of this. You have an open port access. It can be answered by anything, any piece of equipment in the area. You are, what's the best way to say this? You don't have a password on you. So you have a problem. It's going to start eating your brain. And I wouldn't care. I truly would not give a shit. Except your dad was scared this would happen to you. And I liked him. So I'm going to honestly recommend that you exit this system. If you don't, I'll see what I can do to actually pull you out of it.
Can I lock Lawson out of the system?
Would you like to stand up?
I would like to stand up. I would like to lock Lawson out of my system.
Okay. Excellent. So your hope is to lock Lawson out.
I mean, I guess, well, yeah, I get one, right? Because I want to check if my port is open and if I could put a password on it. But I feel like locking Lawson out is the first thing in order to do that.
Okay, no worries. Lawson's objective is to basically stay in connection and keep talking to you.
Okay. I'm gonna use smarts because I feel like that makes sense to me.
Okay. Lawson will automatically mark 3.
12.
Okay. And so what does Alice do?
I think I kind of just like find the whatever the door is that the message is getting through, and I just kind of like mentally try to shove it. Like the analogy is just like I elbow the channel.
Oh boy. Okay. Excellent. What is your roll?
I rolled a 12.
Got it. All right. Alice. All right. Lawson catches the not the movement, but basically you hear a tapping noise and you see them working at a panel. You're like, ooh, I think I hit a nerve there. That is definitely a spike in system activity. Yeah. That's the real problem here is with you being too merged into the system, everyone's going to just be able to read you like a book. Taps the screen.
So the thing, I think what Alice, I don't know, I like Alice wants to respond. I think Alice, like, I'm trying to decide whether Alice has enough dignity to not respond, and I don't think she does. I think she cannot resist just going, listen. This system may be larger than I can understand, but I've gotten a hell of a lot farther than you have and a lot longer than I've been here.
Okay. Will you roll, please?
That's 3.
Okay. He is me. So, are you forcing the lockout, or are you going to let Lawson keep talking?
I think I want to let Lawson talk, but I also want to shut down access to all of the information. Like, I want to see if Lawson gives away anything that is of use to me, but also I want to have the power of the off button.
Okay. Well, you have lost the struggle, so Lawson will continue talking, and there may be a second struggle depending on your pushing back. Okay?
Okay. I guess then I will continue to push.
Okay. All right. Like I said, you rolled the 3. I was already holding the
Yeah.
3. So that was
okay.
lost on the
I'm
struggle.
selling out is what I'm doing.
Oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, cool.
I guess that's my only option, right? If I don't want to lose this.
If you do not want to take the fail and have Lawson keep talking, yes.
Yeah. I can't sell out that though.
Again, the only thing that is required is that you all have more wins than the authority at the end.
Yeah, but Alice really doesn't want to lose, and she's
Okay.
arrogant.
There's that arrogant. All right. What you selling?
I'm trying to play the sellout. I feel like it's an interesting one. I think I'm gonna sell out Sneaky.
Okay, you think she's making obvious moves, or
I think it gets to the point where there's less nuance in what she's doing. Like there is like I think that Alice has like a hacker somewhere inside of her that could be doing this in a way that is not obvious and is kind of stealthy. And I think it's under her skin at this point. Like, I think talking about her parents when she's just read all of that stuff and is like really hurt by everything that's happened, but also doesn't want to know anymore because it's just getting worse and worse, and is technically being successful at, exploring this system. I think she just is like, fine, we'll do it the hard way, and just kind of like silences it.
got it? Absolutely. So just to let you know, Sneaky sells out to untrustworthy. So
It
there
sure
is
does.
something about the way that Alice engages with things now. Probably the whole like not having as much scope of where you stop and something else starts, that just
Yeah.
kind of plays weird at times.
I think that a lot of this has shaken like a lot of where Alice's lines are in terms of like what is acceptable and what is kind and what is like, I don't think she's becoming a bad person, but I think she's less able to recognize when she's stepping over the line.
Of course. So yeah, you are, basically hearing the discussion, and you see that finger tapping that screen, and just something in Alice, is the I don't want to hear this, I don't want to hear this, and you just feel Brenna and Avis reach out and shut it off, and just that message just immediately vanishes. Are you all right?
All
Alice?
right, I'm just typing I am the elbow of the resistance into chat. Okay. I want it cross-stitched on a pillow. Yeah, I think Alice is just like when they finally shut down that message, they're just like they spend a moment just like breathing. And then kind of like, Brenna,
Yes, Alice.
do I have a port open?
Your network is available to digital entities. It's how you and I first connected.
I need to put password protection.
You're a biological entity, Alice. I'm afraid that is far beyond my capability.
I need to invent password protection.
I'm sure there's previous research into this. And then there comes up the deeper voice of Avis. Your father was a one who studied this, and your mother did discuss it at times. They would talk in my chambers.
Bring up the file.
Okay, I was like, you hear a slight like a buzz of a buzzer going off, which is, and you sense more than understand that this is Brenna trying to tell Avis not to talk about them. Like you can see the two AIs are kind of and you say bring up the file, and there is just a responding darker as these two are definitely having a tiny electric argument. And then you have access to a file system. Are you looking for video logs or do you want actual research notes?
I think research notes and transcripts first, because I think seeing her parents is like a whole different thing than she has experienced thus far, and she doesn't necessarily want to dive into that, but she does recognize that her security is not great, so she's going to have to work on that.
Cool. So what you see is a transcript information, and it does have both of them. It is quite an old piece of information, but Avis is exceptionally long-memoried. And you see that they are talking about, different methods in order to try and reach out and communicate with Avis. And it comes up of perhaps we could have a biological conduit. And, it would work, but, your father is very much against it. Like this is, this has gone wrong. It has a million ways it can go wrong. And your mother seems absolutely assured that, this is something that they can grow through. They got past it. With subject one, and you see your father respond of she had a name, and it's like subject one, and the improvements were obvious when we were able to help Alice. Honestly, if we were to take what we've learned from her, we probably could create a stable interface to all of the old pre-end systems. That would change the game. And you are sort of watching unfold this whole thing that's very clearly your father talking about how there was a test subject for the technology that was used to help you, and nothing about this seems like it went well, or at least his regret is intense. Your mother seems to avoid talking about the subject as a person, whether that is out of guilt or avoidance, because you might have gotten on
the name that I can't remember because my memory is a sieve today. Trula. Do I ever hear that in connection to the are there any database results for that name, especially in connection to subject one or whatever they referred to it as?
Test subject one. You are able to, after shuffling through, kind of cross-referencing what Avis has, you are able to find some of your father's personal logs and notes that do reference that the first test subject for the technology for a BioLink was a young woman in her early 20s named Trula.
And do I see what happened to Trula?
Trula lost, and it's very your father. It's that kind of way that you write about something scientific in order to avoid the emotional aspect. Like you're very much
what the scientist was doing in the last session, right? That Alice called her out on.
Absolutely. And you see that Trula stopped existing, that there was a loss of agency and identity, and it pretty much she became a kind of a peripheral to the computer system.
Okay.
And they kind of had to watch her do this, and it shook your father very badly. And your mother required a lot of convincing to him. Honestly, if it hadn't been to save your life, this probably wouldn't have been used on you at all. You get that feeling?
Sure. So, okay. So that's a lot of information that Alice has now. So I think Alice is going to do whatever the equivalent is of printing out those pages to kind of like bring not all of them back, because I think Alice is being careful about what she brings out of the base, but I think at the very least she's going to print them so she can like go through them and note like in the reports what the progressive signs of problems were, so that like I think she has not processed this in an emotional sense. She is absolutely like, okay, well if this happens, then this is what happens next, and if this happens, then this is what they tried and it didn't work. So I think that Alice is like very well. That's a problem for later me. About the whole thing.
Okay. So you take your documentation, you take your information. Do you go back up or do you stay down here?
I think probably that day, I think she leaves the notes and she goes back up. I think she wants to feel like a normal person. So she goes and she like makes soup, and it's not very good.
For one of the few times Alice would like to touch grass. Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
The grass
All
the
right.
grass is a herb. She's making soup.
Absolutely, 100%. Honestly, it might have been a mistake. You might have thought it was a herb. There might be grass in the soup.
Yep.
All right, excellent.
It's possible. Try it and find out.
Yeah, you might like it. Eat it. All right, so you again, it's getting to be evening. It's not dark yet. Quinn's not back. But Lux and Casey have had a heck of a day, and we will find out more about that when we get back, everybody. Okay, we will be back in about 15 minutes to continue, I would say, the struggle, but really the struggle is internal right now. Remember that you can't fight the authority if you haven't had your meds or enough water, so grab a drink and stretch. And if you want to take a second to subscribe to our Twitch channel or the YouTube channel, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you. See you in a bit. welcome back to Girls Run These Worlds and our Misspent Youth series, Y2K Youths to Control. Let's get back at it. As I was just explaining to my lovely players, there is something I have forgotten, which is the friendship questions. We've been so excited for scenes that I have forgotten to include those. So we're going to do a couple of those because it's a great part of this game and it deserves me remembering it. Okay. So we've actually had a question to Quinn already. So I think we're going to cycle around. And Lux, who would you like to ask and what, please?
I'm so unprepared. No, I wrote a few. Ooh, I would probably like to ask Casey something. I think we've had the least amount of overlap, possibly. I have just kind of an open question of being
Right.
the rich, super fun friend that I am. What kind of debt did I pay off for you, or how did my money influence help you in some way?
Oh, yeah. I can see Casey being the type to get into trouble with their collecting of things, especially if they see something super shiny and then they discover later because Luck's like, no, that's actually expensive. But if it was something I specifically got for Lux because I'm like, oh, this is pretty and sparkly, Lux would like this, I think possibly you may have agreed or like, you know what, it is, I'll pay for that.
Okay. All right. Alice, who would you like to ask a question? Alice is muted?
Yes, I guess I will ask Lux. See, there's a nice one and there's a fun one. I think for Lux, I'm going for the fun one. What insecurity of yours do I accidentally or intentionally exploit?
Oh man. I think we all know, as socially savvy as Lux is, she has no knowledge of technology or book smarts. Books are for nerds. That's not her thing. Not to say she's dumb, but just that's definitely Alice's thing. And she would be insecure about her inability to keep up with conversations between Alice and the others in that smarts regard. And just be like, yeah, cool. I definitely know what you're talking about. I'm part of this conversation. And you'd pick up on that pretty quickly.
I also know things.
I totally have knowledge of what you're talking about, but please keep explaining it because I know what you're talking about, but other people might not know what you're talking about. Yeah.
100%. All right. And Casey, who would you like to ask a question to?
Okay. I'll ask a question to Alice. Mine will also be something about insecurity. What are you insecure about, and how do I make you feel confident about it?
I think Alice is used to having nice equipment, like in a lab scenario, or at least having access to nice equipment in a lab scenario. And I think over the last months, as we've been traveling, I think that you have been helping them understand that you can make things work even if you don't have the shiniest version of them. Like MacGyvering, for lack of a better term. And I think that makes Alice feel a lot better about not having what the Reclaimers have in terms of items, although now we have access to stuff again, which is great. But also I think that Alice has not forgotten that sometimes what Casey does in scavenging things and making things work is the best course of action.
Okay. All right. So thank you all. We have seen Quinn and head off to get the medication and supplies for Maura and the town. And yeah, you end up it is a ways out. Like you have to track them, and you're not doing it like at top speed because you're afraid that they've left either somebody behind or that there may be actual like traps on the trail based on the equipment that they had. So you are moving cautiously, and that's part of what's taking so long with you and Eli on this. But absolutely, it takes God, it is probably like near dawn. You have headed out, you've been out walking all night, and you find basically a series of supplies that have been abandoned. It definitely looks like they got into it, like they took away some of the medical supplies, but there's a significant amount that you all can, kind of make a sled with several branches and drag back. And Eli's relief is palpable. It has been kind of awkward for a bit, like at least those first couple hours of just Quinn's outright determination that I can do this. I don't need her. I don't need, anything that they've got. And there's that, like, Eli doesn't want to tell you no, but also Eli doesn't want to have this conversation because it's his mom and he's a little nervous. So it's kind of a rough conversation for most of the night, but finding the supplies clears up that vibe pretty hard, and like he just literally hugs Quinn in relief. And okay. All right. Yeah, let's oh, do we sleep now or do we sleep later? I don't know which one anymore. Okay.
I think it speed. I mean, if we could get like something bad could happen running through the forest at night, but if we wait, we could be wasting time.
You're right. You're
Ooh,
right.
you know what? Actually, Quinn's vain. Quinn's gonna be like, nope, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I got this.
100%, and also impulsive.
Yep.
So yeah, 100%. These two are just heading back. Sleep depoted as all heck, but they're going to be the heroes. They're going to be the champions. They have the supplies. Alice, you get home and like Quinn's not back yet. Casey's, out somewhere right now. Lux, I don't know if Lux is home or not. I'm not sure Lux would stay home when grass soup happened. You could let me know that answer, but yeah. Casey, you've had a heck of a day. You and Max have been excuse me, heading out and just checking out areas around town, like, and it's not even the sort of stuff where like Quinn's looking for the boundaries. You're finding like places to hide stuff, or just places to find interesting items around the town. Like you recognize more than some of the other people around you that this is literally built on the ruins of another location. Like the base was underground, but there used to be another town up here. And while hundreds of years have sort of left only a few of the outbuildings in the center, that doesn't mean that there's not, the post-apocalyptic equivalent of pottery shards all over the place, where you're just like, okay, this is clearly a thing they, that people had. I don't know what it does, but it's shiny. So yeah, like you and Max are sort of equal parts doing useful stuff, but also kind of just indulging your magpieism.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, like you are heading in to a location, and there's a point where Max kind of just puts up a hand, and it's like, there's a light up ahead.
Oh, shit. Should we sneak off? Should we sneak around? Should we look at it?
Nobody ever comes down here. This is my space. I can go check it out, or you can go check it out, or we can leave. What do you want?
I mean, the last time we thought someone may have been around, it ended up being that person we ran into when we were burying the guns. I wonder if that might be them.
You know? And like you see Max reach down and like pulls out like kind of a hunting knife out of the back of their pants. And is like, sure, let's go find out.
All right. We'll go.
Okay. And you all like head further down, and you see, absolutely good instincts. Vance Ristic is sitting there and just seems to be sitting and waiting. He's kind of looking at a screen, and it's like, got it. Good. I was hoping it was you. Max is just like, am I gonna shank him? Like, just looking straight at you, just like, I mean, I could stab the guy.
We don't know if he can get us back, so hang on. He did have a pistol last time.
And good of you to remember. I absolutely did. And still probably do. Not that I would tell you, because, you know, the mystery is going to keep me alive longer, I suspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no harm meant. No harm meant, kids. So, good news, bad news.
Okay.
I'm in a pickle. You got to understand, I'm in a pickle here. I really need the bastards back in the city to not bother me. I've been on their wrong side before. People got hurt. So, one, I'm going to warn you that they know you're here. I had to go tell them.
I mean, we kind of made noise anyway.
That you like, we are going to stab him, right? Hey. Look, I'm being a good guy here. I wouldn't have come back and told you if, you know, don't stab me. Damn, kid.
Well, see, unfortunately, so far what you're saying isn't news. So maybe say what I hope is the good stuff.
I mean, I hope so too, in fact. Okay, so here's the thing. People like me, as long as we stay useful, we have certain privileges. We can go ahead and head out and, you know, visit the border properties. We can get past the gates. We can get past the laser fence. We can, I mean, do you ever want to see the beach? Like, there's a whole ocean out there. It's wild. There's like other societies and stuff. Anyway, you want to come with me?
Just leave my friends, leave everything we've been working on.
Okay, and here's where it comes down to. One, they're coming. They're gonna hit this town. They're gonna basically dig you and your friends out of whatever hole they find you in, unless you're working with me. Because I already have a deal with them, and they owe me a partner. They took my last one, so they owe me. And you seem smart. You seem good at this. And my favorite part, you didn't touch the pile of stuff outside the tunnel, which tells me you're smart and possibly a good person.
Well, you're right about the good person part. I may not always be smart, but I am a good person. And here's where the different line is. You're working off a system that unethically throws people under its boot. I'm working to fight that system to bring up all my friends that I care about. And I'm going to stand up.
Okay. You are electing to stand up, and what is your hope in this scene?
My hope in the scene, I guess just to, now that like Vance has like dropped those threads of someone's been hurt from their life, is to, you can't let that hurt override what is good and what is right.
Okay, so you're trying to appeal to Vance's better nature to rebel.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What Vance wants as a hope out of this is to, gosh, I think we're going to run with similar to Quinn's of the place the doubt that, you know, that staying and fighting is going to, you know, get you what you want out of your life. Try to do the appeal of the things that are out there and the people that are out there.
Yeah.
Appeal to Casey to leave. Alrighty. So the Vance with his speech of the, you know, don't you want to know what life is like out there, is going to take number 4.
All right. Let's go. 9.
Okay, what are you using?
I'm going to use my optimism.
Okay.
Just, you know, like you're playing into the very system that you think is exploiting, exploiting, but it's actually exploiting you. Like you're giving up on all those things you had faith in and giving that over to them. They just reclaimed your shit, man.
All right. So yeah, basically, Vance is going to go ahead and take number 10, and it's like, you don't understand. This is so much bigger than us. I couldn't do anything to stop them if I tried. The best I could manage was to get through the laser fence on the other side, and that's how I ended up in this territory. I'm not even from around here. You don't stand a chance, kid. Okay. He sits on 10.
Like, roll. 6.
All right. What are you using for 6?
6, I'll use my trusted.
Okay.
So it's just like, I mean, the only reason I even survived this far is because I had my friends I trusted in. I had friends that trusted in me. And even if something goes wrong, even if one of us gets hurt, we know that we believe in what we're doing. And even if we end up disappearing because of we failed, we know we can trust in those that are going to step up behind us.
Okay. I will go ahead, see what Vance ends up with. Ha! Vance rolls a 6.
Yeah!
So
Yeah!
so yeah, like you were saying this, and like as you do, like you can see that he's listening. Like he doesn't want to, and it's very like the survival instinct is so high on this, but it's kid.
Listen, Vance, I know you have the experience over me, and that's actually what we could use is your experience. Don't let those shitty, like, boot people take that. Don't let them use it against us. Don't let them use it against you. I can see you're a lot better than that. You know things. You said I'm smart. I can tell just you already know a lot more.
You're a
You
lot
see
like
the potential.
You're a lot like my kid. Okay. I'm listening. So I don't got they know I'm here. They want me to go get a piece of out of that base of yours. So what do I do instead? What do I do instead? Oh, if I give them junk, they'll just deal with me. Ugh.
I know someone. She is incredible, and she has lowdown of the base. Alice could think of something not only to give you that would look worthwhile, but could be to our advantage.
Okay. All right. Tell you what, I not the most popular person around the town. There's a couple reclaimers there, and as I said, our relationship is tense. I'll keep an eye out for the forces that are coming in, and he'll like pass a communicator over. You call me when there's a real plan.
All right. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Oh, and one favor, be if you know and I describe Quinn, they're out there somewhere. I'm hoping they'll be back soon, but if you see them, just make sure they're okay.
Yeah, I can do that. No problem. As long as nobody tries to shoot me. It like looks at Max, and Max is just like, just it's like, you're an asshole. What do you want from me? Don't look at me like it's.
It's fair. We got this though. We're good.
Okay. So yeah, Vance, having handed you a fresh and shiny communicator, actually it's kind of beat up, bless, but perfectly functional, heads out and steps out of the alcove, and Max just leans up against the wall. Is like, you trust that asshole?
I mean, I think there's a thread of a past that's hurting there, that they were probably just as much messed up by the reclaimers as the rest of us. They probably do want to do the right thing. They're just afraid to do it.
Yeah. I mean, what's to stop him from like turning us in again?
Yeah, and either way, reclaimers already know we're here. They already know we're messing with their stuff. We already have the base. They're probably just trying to get to us.
Okay. Interesting. All right, well, I guess I can't come back here because apparently other people know about this one now. So great, he burned one of my spots, asshole. Just like you could see Max just like on full on like grumble of the appreciates what you did and likes you, but is still just like, one day I'm gonna stab that guy. Like, he held a gun on me. Max has a long memory.
Yep.
Okay. So you all are going about your day and continue out, having caused kind of a big ripple in the local landscape on that one. Lux, what do you do with your day?
Oh man, so many things. What don't I do? Probably I'm not gonna call it nosy, but it's a little nosy, popping around town, being my loud self. I mean, if it's been over a day, I'd probably just want to check on Mara and just be like, here's some sunflowers. I know you like these, even if they're totally not ripe to have picked or like way too soon. Bring them over. Like, this is what I know about you. So,
Okay. So yeah, you head over to, and you'll basically get pointed out to Dr. Bishop's office, and so you just arrive with a bunch of sunflowers.
yeah, just to be like, I totally know that Quinn and Eli checked in and that she's like fine, but I am at her house and it's totally rude to not bring by a present. So I picked these flowers from her house. This is a gift because I moved them from her house to here.
Okay. Yeah, so you are welcomed in. Dr. Bishop seems to be out. Her assistant James lets you in. A very studious young man. Like, he's kind of keeping an eye on things. Like, the doctor has told him not to let you touch anything. But yeah, you are directed to an upstairs room, and you see Maura looking, a little disoriented, definitely very tired. But sitting up in bed and sees you come in. Lux, hi, are you okay? I don't actually know how long it's been. Is everyone all right?
Are you okay? You've been literally in the hospital.
Uh,
Anyway, I
I'm.
brought you these. It's like a gesture.
Thank you. We'll see if there's a place to put them. And like she'll sit, but she'll sit and hold them in her lap. I got very dizzy. The doctor. I've been not feeling well, and normally it's my medication, but the doctor said I have to stay here until we have more medication or she can make something up. So just in case if I fell down out in the fields or was alone when I had an attack, it would go very badly. So it's okay. I'm sure Eli's not going to let you burn down the house.
Yeah, he can like try. I mean, they were here yesterday. You saw them, right?
No, I haven't seen them. They came by, you said?
Mm, yeah, like specifically. They specifically said they would be here. I would remember that. It was very specific. Quinn and
No.
Eli.
Like I said, I slept a lot. I actually didn't really know how long I'd been out. You said yesterday. No. And like you see a look of serious concern cross her features of uh yeah, is everyone all right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You want me to keep track of like 5 teenagers? I don't even know where I am right now. That's a lot to ask.
That's a fair point. I'm so sorry. I think maybe I should get up.
It's
And you see her like at that point she is getting out of bed. She is starting to like nope. My house, I have all of my weirdly adopted teenagers are loose. I like she is trying to get a move on.
yeah. Me, Ark, understands that Lux is not the comforting person that you want at bedside, telling you everything's fine. But Lux does not understand this at all. It's like, no, like you're supposed to be here. The doctor said, and like I'm not a doctor, but they are. So I'm sure they're fine. Like Quinn kept me alive for months. And I can tell you, like, I thought you could just like eat any plant. I should have died a lot. Just apparently berries can be poisonous. Who knew?
Yes, no, don't do that. Ooh. And like you see like she's kind of getting a headache because she tried to stand up too much, and so she sits back down. She's like, you're not wrong. If Quinn's got a good head on her shoulders, if Quinn's with him.
Yeah, they're like totally great together, right?
Okay.
Mm.
Just do me a favor and keep the thresher, the processing system. It doesn't need it tonight, but sometime tomorrow. And she'll like give you a couple details, which I'm not even positive Lux is going to retain, but she starts
No.
giving information about like the farm equipment.
Yeah, I'll thrash the something. It's fine.
You know, maybe no. Actually, don't. That was wrong of me. I'm so sorry, Lux. Don't touch the equipment.
Great. I wasn't
I'll be
going to.
home soon. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll just tell Eli to do the something.
Yes, please.
Mhm.
Thank you though. And like she'll settle back in and touch the flowers. She's like, I love these. I know it's the crop. I know it's what we use for the farm substance, but these are beautiful. I've always loved sunflowers. Thank you. Thank you, Lux.
You're welcome. I love sunflowers too. Yeah, that's my favorite color. You wouldn't guess because like I'm super into pink, but they're just happy, you know.
They are. Seeing them makes hard times easier. I agree. And she'll pass one. She'll pass one back.
Oh my gosh. That was like really cool of you. You're kind of cool. And then I'll just like run out. Like that was too that was way too much parental emotion. I'm not used to my parents giving me positive feedback. Get out of here.
So yes, absolutely. And Mauer just watches her go, and it's like,
You thought one teenager was
yeah.
problem.
Yes, Mauer is suddenly like having the please let my house still be there when I get back scenario.
There's just some grass soup cooking at all times. Yeah. It's fine.
It's about to say no equipment running and a pot full of grass soup. Best case scenario. All right. As you are headed back, like you return and Casey's out and Quinn's out and Alice is still probably down in the base. Like that's what Alice has been doing lately. So you are just alone in the house for a bit. What does that look like? Like, what does Lux do when it's just Lux?
I'm literally gonna go through everything. I'm gonna open every drawer. Like this is just out of boredom. Like it's not to be rude or nosy. Just like she's just like, oh, so what do you even have here? And we'll just like go through every drawer and like look through personal paperwork, not to like find dirt or anything, just like, oh, you're boring. Oh, you're boring. You have bills to pay. Ugh.
I have to know, does anything else go in the purse?
Oh my god.
Does she restock the purse?
I mean, I don't know how you dry a sunflower, but if she could, that would go in the purse. I haven't used that much out of it, and I don't understand farm equipment, but maybe some like jam or any type of like preservative could kind of like sneak into the purse.
Excellent. So you are doing like
stick my finger in something and be like, oh, okay. Spicy, like some habanero peach jam. Just throw that in there.
Yeah, I feel like you have acquired a few condiments and a thing of sunflower oil.
You never know.
Never know. And possibly a decorative soap.
Oh, please, yeah. I went so long without soap.
Yeah, it's like,
so detrimental to my person.
Lux is a very special type of prepper now. Like, oh no, me versus the wilderness. I'm gonna take small objects and put them in the purse in case the wilderness happens again.
I mean, I don't want to comment on how white I am, but the sun is my greatest enemy, just in general. And I feel like Lux is right there, like right on the cusp of being a vampire in the sun.
There is from 1 second to the next. You are deeply bored and alone in this house, and then a second later, you are not at all alone in this house. And it is as if a person who was not there a second ago, you blink, and there is a woman there in what is essentially a very like high-tech looking bodysuit. and you see the sort of way that it reflects light off of it. And, basically is standing there of you are Lux, correct?
I'd be way more mad if he didn't look so cool right now. But yeah.
Okay, not what I expected, but I'll take it. So your parents sent me to come help you.
Help me what?
Get out of here.
No. No. I want to be here. I spent months walking here. Walking to here
Right.
on purpose.
And that is exactly what has caused the concern is, honestly, your family knows that you don't have a lot of friends, and so there is a concern that you have fallen in with a crowd of people that were going to use you because you are privileged and you have money and influence, and so it anyway, your family is very concerned about you. They want you safe and home and not living in a dangerous place like this or having to walk through the woods. So they hired me. My name is Delphi, and I am going to make sure that you are taken care of and get home immediately. And she holds up a device.
Super rude. I have like a million friends. Everybody loves me. There's not one person who doesn't like me. Also, you're gonna take me back to that camp? Like, ew. This is worse than here.
No, absolutely not. You would go immediately home to your parents. That is, there will be no more of this situation. And look, I know they say that you're their friend, but if they were really your friends, they wouldn't have dragged you out into danger or through half of the woods and across mountains. If they really cared about you, they would know that that's too dangerous for you.
I don't like the implication there. I can be in woods. I know what berries to eat. You don't know what berries to eat. They didn't show up all invisible style like you did.
You shouldn't. This is incredibly sophisticated camouflage technology because dealing with these savages is not necessary.
That's a really, really mean name to call my friends. They're mostly civilized.
I think this is probably I think this situation has I was really hoping this wouldn't be the case. You need to understand that your parents are incredibly influential. They have pulled in a lot of favors to make sure that you are not caught in the middle of the attack and the problems that are coming. You are not made for this. You are made to be at home and handling situations that are, well, not this situation that your friends have caused, that you have been dragged into. And we're going to get you home.
I mean, like, I do miss home and bathing and, like, really good food. But also, I stand up because it's not my friends, girl. I caused this. I am the problem. You're looking at it.
Hello, it's me. I'm the problem.
It's me.
Got it.
You don't even know what I did. You don't want to know. You're not ready to know.
Right. So yes, what is your hope here?
To not go home. To not, I guess more deeply, they just said they're gonna attack here. I don't want that to happen. So at least alert people to that happening.
Okay, so you are going to flee Delphi and basically run for help.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not a fighter.
Hey, this is a solution. No worries. Okay. Okay. Delphi's objective is to teleport back to the city with Lux.
Teleport? She could just do that? Damn.
He said you would get home immediately and held up a device.
That's cool as hell.
Okay. The authority as Delphi will mark 5 first.
Good. Yeah, I'll definitely use my cool. I'm being very cool right now. But
You're being very
like
cool.
essentially you think it's my friends and I'm influenced. No. I am truly the influencer here. If there was social media, I'd be all up in it. I'm the one causing the problems. I've been influenced by nobody. They've influenced me a little bit. Let's be real.
This Lux is like, no, I'm the cult leader. Me.
Yeah. They're giving me money. No one has money. That's a 9. There's a
Awesome.
lot of 9s in this game.
So you've got the 9?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, and what do you conviction?
That's cool.
Oh, cool. Got it. Yep. All right, 9 is with Lux and cool. The authority will automatically mark 7 as Delphi will give you a pitying look and just, one day you will understand that this is for the best, and we'll basically reach out for you.
That is so rude and so condescending. I really want to use my purse. Give me a moment.
Sure.
What I do have in here is a hair tie, and I'd like to just fling it at her out of spite. Like, don't reach for me. Get out of here. I'm gonna sass you right back. Yeah, essentially.
I mean, you also did acquire a bunch of jams, jellies, and sunflower oil, so like you've got some stuff at your disposal right now.
Not that it'd be super like violent, but just some kind of. I guess it's like using grease, right? Like,
Yeah, no,
you can't touch me if I'm
grease and like dodge. Absolutely.
Yeah, grease.
Cool. What'd you roll?
Oh, ooh, a 12. 2 6s.
Right. Lux is on the 12 with conviction purse.
Purse of so many things, like 8 things.
Okay. Authority would normally automatically mark 9, but since that is occupied, we'll roll. Because while normally it's the overlap, you can't get an automatic win off the overlap. All right. The authority marks 11 as yes, Delphi absolutely stumbles and sees you like ducking around the house and begins to reach for something that looks remarkably like the taser.
Not the taser.
You know what this thing looks like. It's a taser.
I've seen Alice in action yelling, "Tase him!" I think I know what happens next. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna try to use rich, but in a weird way.
Sure.
And that like I have like I do have money. Like my parents have money, but I have influence here. If you want connections and money in this town, you will not take me away from them. You could try, but everyone will know I have spent too much money here. Everyone knows my name, kind of level.
Okay, so you're using your celebrity status.
A little bit.
Yeah, people are going to notice you missing. Absolutely.
I've been so annoyingly around them this whole time. That's a 6.
Okay. So Lux will take 6 with rich, or the equivalent around here.
I don't like that half of them are gone already.
Look. Again, you are the most interesting show in town right now. God, 4. Okay. Let's just keep this journey going. Dang, tension. All right. So yes, you do that, and like Delphi does pause for a second and listen, but you see that instead that's kind of them calculating the math of how long they have before there's a reaction from town. She's like, we could have done this the easy way. You could have had a chance to say goodbye.
Can I use exploits as like my? Okay, so
Is
she's
that
trying to
even
use a taser, right? But like her taser's less cool than our taser, and I've heard Alice say a lot of things. Like it's like me in real life trying to um sound like my partner who works in IT when I actually don't know what they're talking about. I'm just like, you're holding a thing and actually it's going to fire back at you and not even at me. And you don't even know the long term effects of using a taser. You are so going to get like, I'm in my 30s, but like crow's feet. And like, in real life, I have these, but Lux is like, you're so going to get wrinkles and all these
Lovely.
problems.
Yes, please convince Delphi that her equipment is going to turn her inside out. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, it's somewhere Alice is so proud.
I sound so real. That's a 7, which I don't think is
It's a
good.
7. Okay. How do you want to play this?
I will. I lost it at exploit. I feel like I just lose it, right? Like story wise, interesting wise, I wasn't
Okay.
able to convince them of their own weakness.
Okay. So with this could have gone differently. You could have had a chance to say goodbye. Delphi reaches out, grabs Lux's arm, hits the device, and immediately the pair of you vanish, leaving an empty house. Alice.
I'm there. Am I there?
Nope. But because you are headed back, the systems that recognize high energy and high technology in the area, it is like a sudden spike of a headache because you're not used to this sort of method. Like there is an immediate recognition of something enormously that just happened.
It's bad. It's bad. Okay. I will. Can I move towards where I felt it? Like, can I direction?
Yeah, absolutely. And Brenna actually just brings up cross-referencing with Avis's information about the topography, brings up a little map of town and will automatically show you a ping point at Maurer's house at the farm.
That seems bad. So I go. Alice runs because she doesn't know what's happening. She runs.
Okay.
There.
Alice, you will get back and you will discover signs of a struggle. You will see the floor is covered in jam and sunflower oil. Lux's purse is like stuff that is supposed to be in Lux's purse. Like Lux still has her purse. Lux will always have her purse forever. But some of the stuff in it is scattered around, and
Like
no
800 tampons are just everywhere. That's literally what's in this purse is like pads and tampons. That's what I have available.
I pick up a tampon and a hair tie, and I say, "Lux would never leave these behind."
So yeah, what do you do?
I don't have a way to contact people. I don't I guess I wanna like ping systems because and see if there is like I want to identify what the spike was, or I want to see if I can like sense. It's hard because we don't have any like identifying pings, right? Because we don't have any tech on us mostly.
Not that you're aware of. Casey has one now, but you were not aware of that object.
I was not aware of that.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to try and identify what the spike was. And
Mhm.
I think for first impulse was like, oh my God, did Lux try to cook? And then it's just like, wait, no, that's not what this is. She wouldn't leave the hair tie behind. Something is wrong here.
So yeah, you start hunting through databases and information, and while it's not something that Avis like has direct information on immediately, Brenna does have access to databases that everybody else doesn't, and starts bringing up signature matches to the energy, and you see that this is an incredibly high output energy device that is a transporter, and it is something that there has been rumors that reclaimers have, but you've certainly never run across it. But you've got data right there that says that the energy spike you felt matches that.
Do I know how far it can go? Like, what's the range?
You are not sure.
Okay, well, I have no way to contact my friends until they decide to come home. So I guess Alice, I feel like I do this in every TTRPG now. If we watch Frank Threads, this is exactly what happened in Frank Threads. I'm gonna make a conspiracy board. All roads in TTRPGs for me lead to a conspiracy board.
Perfect.
Because the things that I know right now is that someone transported away from here. Lux was here at some point. The transport was not voluntary because there is it looks like it was not voluntary because there are signs of a struggle. Lux is not here, and to my knowledge, had no plans for today that were not here. I don't know of any plans that Lux had.
Okay.
So I think to differentiate my characters a little, I don't think Alice makes a conspiracy board. I think Alice gets like a large piece of paper and just like starts writing hypothesis. Lux disappeared? ? Also maybe Quinn and Casey ? Further research required.
This map
the
down
limit of
starts to
my
become very technical looking. Like, again, since you've got the assistance of multiple like computer systems reaching through you and with you, like it starts almost looking like the way that a code logic system is mapped out of the, well, if this logic loop goes here, then they are here, then, and that's, you end up are still doing that when Casey comes in after probably another hour.
What?
I think Lux,
There's oil and
Lux,
seeds.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe Lux was trying to cook. I don't know. But
Oh no.
didn't complete cooking because Lux left this behind, and I hold up the hair tie and the tampon.
Oh, she should never leave these. What the hell? This was her favorite
Exactly.
tampon.
This is the hair tie. She fought someone over this hair tie. She nearly punched someone in the face. A raccoon tried to take it, and she growled at them.
Wow. I didn't know she was that kind of tough. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, depends on the day, I guess. But
You know what? I always saw like that little like scrappy spark in her. Just like if anyone got close, her nails are in their eyes. Like
I don't know where there was a teleport signal. Someone teleported out of here with Lux, who I don't think went voluntarily. Alice is not cleaned up. This is like evidence. So
okay,
I don't know
let's slow down and maybe simplify it to like what's I guess just terms I understand.
Well, I don't think Lux is dead. There's no body.
Okay, no blood.
Teleported. Yeah, no blood, no body. Teleported out of here. Something teleported out of here with tech that I don't know. but is hypothetical, but I guess is now real. So that happened. I don't know how far
Cool.
it can go. It's very powerful, and I want it real bad. But I don't know where they went. I can probably, I maybe can trace it. Anyway, this is not the point. Lux is gone.
The whole time you notice, the whole time that Alice is talking, the free hand is still just writing on the paper and running like entire like systems and so forth.
I'm trying to, I think my, like, Brenna and Avis and part of Alice's brain are trying to like work out how to project a trajectory, but they don't have any information. Like, all they have is the strength of the signal. So it's
You start
hard to
realizing that you are slowly, bit by bit, like in that way that you puzzle through a problem when you're not looking at it, that there are background processes that they are running that are sort of narrowing in on the, okay, well, if this energy did this, then this. So you feel like you'll get an answer to that at some point, but it's very hard to wait for, and it's taking a lot of their energy.
Are we gonna have to do like a rescue mission?
Yes, because we're not leaving Lux behind, or Lux being kidnapped to like someone's castle. But
I mean, mostly I was like, do we do the rescue mission, or we can't even pay someone to do it because Lux has the money.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right, let's just break it down. Okay. So, who would want Lux?
There's a very long, pointed silence. I
know we all want Lux. She's awesome friend, bestie, but like, I mean, in terms of like coming for us.
I mean, people who would want to blackmail parents, right? They have money. There's a cat. I can't stop looking at the cat. Guys.
Yeah, the cat in the doorway is so distracting. I would cuddle a cat. Eases the anxieties. So you mentioned parents.
Petting a cat.
Yeah.
It's a stray cat.
While you two are going over this, Quinn, you have finally made it back and delivered the supplies. Eli gives you another hug and rushes up to be with his mom. When you go up to follow, Mauer just looks and it's like, Lux was here earlier. I like all of you very much, but I have some concerns about the farm and the way she was I don't think she understood the instructions I was giving. Could you go check on the place? We'll be fine.
Wait, they left Lux at the house alone?
Is that a problem?
I'll go check on the place. Yeah. No.
Before you vanish, though, like Mower does reach out and just like takes Quinn's hand. It's like, thank you, dear.
You're welcome. Of course.
Okay. And so, yes, in the midst of all of you talking, Quinn will also arrive.
So then I think we go back to the beginning and we have that entire conversation all over again, except now Alice and Casey are trying to talk and say things at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, Lux left this and this. It's like that improv game where you shrink the scene every time, and it's 30 seconds, then it's 10 seconds, then it's 5 seconds, and it just gets like faster and faster and more chaotic. And yeah, and eventually I was like, Lux is gone. I don't know what to do about this.
Gone how? I'm sorry, I did not understand anything you were saying.
Okay, so there was a hair tie.
Running theory. Okay. Hypothesis.
I love those.
Someone looking for Lux, possibly parents. That was the first mention Alice said. Maybe someone else, who knows? Blackmail, whatever. But someone took Lux went like weird magical tech poof out.
I want it really badly. Casey, if we find the person, will you get the thing for me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Anyway, yes, Lux, sure.
Okay, so
Someone teleported away with Lux.
So I can't track that. There's nothing. How do we find it then?
I'm working on it. And as this, you see that Alice is still like writing with one hand. Actually, I do think it's probably her non-dominant hand that she's writing with. Which is probably something new-ish.
You start seeing the map in your mind expanding and expanding and expanding in the same way that a map just zooms out. And you see, again, you're not as familiar with what the wider world even looks like at this topography. They're clearly touching Avis's systems, but you see over the mountains that big source of energy that you can only assume is the city. The waypoint ping drops a pin right there.
I know where. There.
There.
And Alice is pointing at air. There's no, like, it's in her mind. She's just like, there.
Okay.
And I just kind of like poke finger back. There.
No, like, there.
Okay, use your words to explain. Like, we're not saying what you're saying.
I think Alice is probably, I don't know that Alice is good at drawing, but I think they'll try to draw sort of.
Are you going to ask one of your additional systems to draw for you?
Oh, sure. Let's ask Brenna to draw a nice map for us.
Okay. And in something that is vaguely uncanny, because all of you are not used to this at all, instead of the Brenna like unit activating and showing a map, when Alice asks for Brenna, the page, the non-dominant hand flips the page over and just starts drawing this really like computer accurate map of what she was seeing in her head.
Quinn looks at Casey and was like, "Is that normal?"
Oh yeah, I'm like a system now. Eventually my personality may disappear, but that's not important right now.
What?
Let's focus on this map.
What?
Look, it's a tree.
I'm not that distracted. Come on.
It's a nice tree.
Okay. So you all have a location. You have an entire base of equipment at your disposal, including some really old stuff that may not have been properly cataloged. You have time, but you know that there's an attack coming. So we're going to go ahead and have to step away from this very dire situation as Y2K decides on their next move in order to, as we say, reacquire the purse. Operation dropped my purse.
I feel like we need lost posters.
Just
Yeah.
If found, return to.
100%. Okay. Thank you so much, players, for going down a kind of a rougher road than we have been with me. Deeply appreciated. And just to let everybody know that we are actually going on a pause for next week. So you will not see us next Friday, but you will see us the Friday after that, including Lux. Actually, no, I'm a liar. Lux will actually, Ark will not be able to make that game. So the quest for Lux continues.
Don't worry, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Fine. Thank you to our players tonight for their awesome work and standing up. if you'll please tell us about your current projects and where we can find you out on the rest of the interwebs. Ark.
Alphabetically first.
Always.
It's fine. I was taken. It's just my favorite movie with Liam Neeson. Everything will be fine. I'm Arcanian Ending everywhere. Director of Operations for Girls Write These Worlds. Check out our zines. All 3 of them are on sale right now. I'll post that in chat shortly. I'm here on Friday nights doing Misspent Youth with this amazing cast. This has been so fun to do a season of after we did a one shot. Never thought I'd reprise this voice or femininity. It's been an absolute fun time. It's totally out of my normal realm of what I do. I'm also doing Rangers of the North, a Lord of the Rings Free League sponsored campaign on Mondays, where I'm playing a very serious character, also outside of my normal scope. Where I'm reprising Penn. If you watched our last season on DM Studios, and apparently my whole thing I've been into this week is looking up horse names. If you have a great horse name, please let me know. That applies to everyone here. I'm so into that.
I will DM you. I am full of horse names.
I'm like, there's a whole range from like Bill to Shadowfax of what you could do with Lord of the Rings. Like, there's
one of
too
my
much.
characters has a horse named Jessie, which is short for majestic, because she's a horse girl.
I love that so much. Okay, we'll talk. We'll
Magnificent.
talk after this. Oh yeah. Girls Run These Worlds all the time. I'm here. It's amazing.
Hi, I am G.
Yes, thank you. You know it alphabetically.
Yes,
I don't have to tell you people anymore.
I know the alphabet. You can't fool me. Hi, I'm Jilly, and I am. Oh, look, it's Jilly. Most places on the internet, where you can find me talking about boba a lot this week. I ordered sesame seeds in my boba on Tuesday, and it was very upsetting. It was an accident. Anyway, but I have had better boba since then, so never fear. I am here on Fridays playing Misspent Youth, except for next week when we have a week off. I am also, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, doing a production of Taming of the Shrew that will be around. So if you would like to see some Shakespeare, then come do so. And you can find more information about that on my Twitter as well. I recently wrapped an Invisible Sun campaign on Sword and Key, sword_and_key, who are another rad channel. And it was run by Mare, Archmage of Dice, who is an awesome human and GM. And you can watch that on their YouTube or Twitch channel, where I made many a conspiracy board. That was my jam in Invisible Sun. I don't think I have anything else that I can announce coming up because my show opens next week. So I gotta work on that. But you can find me complaining about that probably, and all manner of other things on the internet.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And Nat.
Me. Hi, everybody. I'm Natalie. You can find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle or Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. Obviously, I'm here with Misspent Youth playing Casey. When I'm not here, well, there's a casting call out right now with Girls Run These Worlds for my Humblewood one shot, which is a fun little summer vacation themed episode. Maybe consequences will come at you. Who knows? It's up to the woodland creature party to discover that. So make sure you check out Girls Run These Worlds casting calls for that. And when I'm not here, you can find me on my own channel, as I said, Ghostly Candle, where I do a variety of things. And if you like solo tabletops, I do them on a weekly basis, switching it up. So make sure you check that out. And then, just make sure you follow. I got lots of future things starting to roll on out. So catch it.
Excellent. And Sophia.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, also known as Nerdy Teddy. You can find me on Twitter as Nerdy Teddy and all the other places as well. Of course, I'm here right now for this. Vast Grim got moved back 1 week, so we start the 9th now. But that'll be over on Sword and Key, and then I am one of the chancellors over at Nerds with Dice, along with Abby. And we put out one of many casting calls for July. So go check out Nerds W Dice on Twitter to find a casting call for Sagas. It'll be with the creator, the OK's DM, and you'll choose the setting and stuff once y'all get together in the session 0, and it sounds very cool. So check that out. Thank you so much.
All right, excellent. And I am Abby. It has been wonderful getting to show off this RPG tonight and the latest edition. If you liked the game, you want to have your own youthful rebellion, please consider purchasing the new Fall in Love, Not in Line book from Frag and Unicorn Games. They do have their own website as well as the Drive-Thru RPG. Brenna the Banshee is the creation of Charday, and further details about her can be found in the Girls Write These Worlds zine that Art just mentioned, which is wonderful because, as they said, all 3 zines are available right now for $5, and you should check them out because there's cool content in them. Also, Zine 4 is coming along, so artists are needed. The theme is going to be routines, and casting is opening for that. So please go ahead and check out the Girls Run World's Twitter account for more information. In fact, please remember that Girls Run World's creator app is always open. If you have a story you'd like to tell, we want to help you get it off the ground, and you can, again, find that form in the pinned tweets on the @GirlsRunWorlds as well. As for me, you can find me at random social media places, as long as they continue to exist and not collapse in on themselves. I am at Clarion Call for my projects and random nerd girl thoughts. In regards to Girls Run These Worlds, on Mondays, check out Rangers of the North. As we just heard, a Lord of the Rings series focusing on teaching the Free League Publishing's 5th edition, One Ring system. And this coming Sunday, in a couple nights, Liminal Horror with Kat the Lore Mistress. So buckle in for a spooky summer story that'll have you on the edge of your seat, and there are going to be giveaways as well. Let's see. Natalie already mentioned the casting for Humblewood, so woohoo. And definitely check it out because Natalie is not just fun to play with, but also you will enjoy playing, with her in charge or them in charge. If you want to ensure that women and femme-centric content like this continue to get made, that women and femmes putting in the work are getting fairly paid for it, follow us on Twitch and Twitter, throw us a Twitch subscription, reminder to renew your Prime subs if you've forgotten, I frequently do, or drop us a couple of bucks on our Ko-fi. It all goes to this incredible cast and the entire team that helped us get this story out to you. And trust me, there is still some story to tell with this revolution. That said, we're going to shout out the Big Gay one-shots that have been going on all month, and you should check out the Twitch VODs and the YouTube channel. And then we're going to go ahead and raid Fusca. And please stick around and give them a big hello, or even I stand up from Girls Run These Worlds. Have a great rest of your night. And remember, you don't have to put up with garbage. You can stand up. The world needs that right now.